Hi, and a very good day. So in this video session, I will discuss about on how to calculate seasonal indices using Excel, right? Okay, so before we begin to calculate the seasonal indices, the most important parts that you need to do is actually to find out whether there is seasonal component in our series. Okay, so like I mentioned before, the best way to know the characteristic of our time series is actually by plotting the series. Okay, so again we will add uh, okay we will add a graph here. Select data, add series name, okay, the value, right, okay, and then edit, okay, right, okay. So as you can see here, your series have basically uh, the same the same period of peak, okay, the highest point and the lowest point, okay, at, as we can see here, this is at quarter 2 and quarter 4, quarter 2 and quarter 4 every year. So this is a sign that our series has seasonal component. Okay, so now you can proceed with calculating the seasonal indices by using Excel. Alright, okay, so let's take a look on how to do it using Excel. Okay, first of all, for calculating seasonal indices, you have to know how to calculate the moving average for even numbers. Because of what? Now we dealing with quarters data. We want to average, we want to find the moving average for even numbers, quarters, 4. Okay, if we dealing with monthly data, we might want to use, okay, moving average for 12 period of time as an example, right? So how do we do? Okay, before we begin, the first step is actually to calculate the moving totals. Okay, so what meaning by moving total? Okay, moving total is actually you total up your all the value in the quarters or the year. Okay, the first year value, how many, alright? And this is a very important step. Okay, you have to start your moving total at t equals to 3 lah. Okay, so okay, sum, right, and then okay, you just drag but up to here. Okay, why here? Because you only have observation up until D23. Okay, so that's why you drag only up to here. Okay, now after you calculate the moving total, you need centered moving total. Okay, this is the step that we need. Okay, because of what? Now the centering process for even numbers of moving average, you need to have this step. Okay, centered moving total. Okay, so let's take a look. What is centered moving total? Okay, right, so the thing is you sum up the moving total for the first okay, you sum up. I just use base calculation. Okay, you sum these two observation. Okay, and then you okay, and then you drag up until this. Because of what? You only have observation up until E22. That's why. Okay, now you are ready to calculate the moving average for okay, for even numbers. So how we do it? Okay, we also know it as centered moving average. Okay, based on this total, okay, this is actually from E6 and E7. Okay, and E6 and E7 is actually based on 4 observation and 4 observation. That's why when we calculate the average, okay, we calculate to we use this value divide by 8. Okay, divide by 8. Okay, be careful, divide by 8 because of what? Okay, this is from moving total is 4 observation. Okay, and then the second moving total is also 4 observation. Okay, and then you just drag. Okay, so now you get the CMA. So how we calculate the seasonal indices? Okay, for this seasonal indices, we call it as unadjusted. Okay, why? Okay, let's take a look. Alright, so before I show to you. Okay, so since that there is no observation here. Okay, so just okay, so we start to calculate the unadjusted seasonal indices from here. Okay, uh this okay, since that remember, okay, remember back for our uh for our for our series. Suppose that our series is actually what we call it. Okay, our series is in multiplicative assumption. Okay, so the component is in multiplicative term. Okay, the thing is when you calculate CMA here, the CMA is actually consists of the trend and the cyclical component. Okay, the trend and cyclical component. That's why when you want to get the seasonal indices, okay, you just simply divide. Okay, divide the original series YT over the C and the T and C component. Okay, assuming that they have multiplicative assumption, and then you times with 100. Okay, because of what? In your textbook they represent the seasonal indices as in percentage form. Okay, right, so you just drag. Okay, again, this is basically our adjusted seasonal indices. Okay, why unadjusted? Okay, the idea is the seasonal component should have the same value at every quarters. As example here, okay, this quarter one, the seasonal indices is 114, but for this particular period 109. Okay, the idea is the seasonal indices should have the same value at every quarters. Okay, that's why what we need, okay, we need to do another process, what we call it as, okay, adjusted seasonal indices. Okay, now I show to you on how you perform adjusted seasonal indices. Okay, alright, for this purpose, okay, okay, right, just for a quick. Okay, so now if you have books, okay, you can refer in page 88. Okay, I'll show to you on how to do it. Okay, this is okay, I already set up this for calculate adjusted seasonal indices, and then I want you guys to transfer this value into this table. Okay, so how we can do it? Okay, since that we start at quarters 3 here. Okay, copy, and then okay, quarters, this is for quarters. Okay, this is for quarters. Okay, and then since that we start at quarter 3, copy the value, and then we right, 1 2 3 4. Be careful when doing this step, so that you don't, okay, you don't do any mistakes. Okay, right. All right. Okay, so now you already transfer your adjusted value to this particular table. All right, so now what the thing that you need uh, to calculate adjusted seasonal indices is, okay, for the first step you need to total up first. Okay, I just you can use sum, but be careful, we just sum. If you want to drag, okay, sekejap. Okay, sum, right, and then you just drag this. Okay, so make sure that your calculation is correct. Okay, so this is the total for each quarter. Okay, the unadjusted seasonal indices total. Okay, and now what you need to do is you calculate the average for each quarter. Okay, so each quarter, so we have 4 observation, we divide by 4, then you just drag. Okay, right, so now let's take a look at what are the sum of all of these value. Okay, so you get 396.97. Okay, to calculate the adjusted mean or adjusted seasonal indices, okay, so what we do, okay, we actually, that the idea is, okay, this particular seasonal indices at each quarter, when we total up, it should have value 400. Why 400? Because the idea is, without seasonal indices, okay, your value should be in the value should be 100. Okay, remember that this is in terms of percentage. Okay, so that's why we put 400. What if we have seasonal for monthly data? Okay, so the adjusted the total of your seasonal indices for 1 year, since that you have 12 months, so 100 for each month, so you total up, you should have, okay, 1200. So that's the difference. Okay, okay, so for this purpose, okay, how can we calculate the seasonal indices, adjusted seasonal indices? Okay, you take the value of, okay, the average that you calculate, and then you divide it by the total of your average. Okay, since that we don't want it to change the value. Okay, and then you times the value, the 400. Okay, and then enter. Okay, so now you have your adjusted seasonal indices. Okay, all right, so here we can put it. All right, okay, so now you already have your adjusted seasonal indices. Okay, you can transfer it to your table. Okay, okay, sorry. Okay, copy, because they copy formula, that's why it become like this. Okay, I just put. Okay, so this is your S component. Okay, S component. Okay, so you can deseasonalize your data by, okay, by doing what? Okay, just the idea is, again, since that this is under multiplicative assumption, so what we can do is, you can, okay, use your original data, divide by the seasonal indices. And remember, your seasonal indices is actually in terms of percentage. Alright, so this is the data set that you get, okay, when you adjust your seasonal indices. Okay, alright, so basically that's all for this this demonstration. Okay, I hope you get the step. Okay, you can try replicate. Okay, you can try to replicate this step. Okay, I already give you one more data set. Okay, so you can try this by calculate the seasonal indices for 12, okay, for monthly data set. Okay, but the thing is, again, you have to start it. You try to do it, okay, and I will give you the answer after this. Okay, alright. So thank you for listening. Okay, hope if you have any question, okay, you can ask me. Okay, alright. Thank you, guys. Bye.